All right, hello wine-drinking people. We're back with more of what I've had to drink yesterday, and our friends with the Foley Wine Estates were in with some great wines. I have to say, man, this guy Bill Foley's been buying up distressed properties, Chalk Hill, Gwennock, and just bought Sawyer Vineyards. Now he's got a home on Napa Valley Highway 29, and I'll tell you what, we like what he's done with everything that he has picked up because the wines have just gotten better and better. And a good businessman. And, well, I mean, like I said, you know, it takes money to make great wines. I've said that many times. And if you have the means to do it and you have the want to make great wines, these are people to watch. And this Two Sisters wine, which we didn't review here, one of my favorite Chardonnays that we have in the store. Their top wine from the Santa Rita Hills. Anyways, I digress. We get back to the wines we tasted on this afternoon. The Kuleto Rosado. This wine's mostly Cabernet Sauvignon, a bit of Zinfandel, Malbec, and Sangiovese. Only 250 cases produced. This wine's got a light red berry fruit on the nose with hints of fresh flowers. Very fruity and fresh and light, but still dry on the end. You know, this is a nice little wine, very good. Hints of floral notes on the finish, bone dry, $22. I'm not a big rosé fan, but I could drink that. The Chalk Hill Chardonnay Sonoma Coast. This is the first release of the Sonoma Coast label, and they're going to change the label next year because it looks too much like the Estate Chardonnay to me. It's going to be a white label, so it looks completely different. They're buying fruit for this wine, and I'll tell you what, it's pretty damn good. It's got some nice juicy fruit on the nose, a little vanilla bean, creme brulee, some peaches, hints of nutmeg and cinnamon spice. Really smooth and creamy on the tongue with a good amount of ripe, lush tropical fruit, peaches, lemon drop candy, some hints of toasty oak spice. Nice hand of acidity here, cleaning things up on the finish. Really nicely balanced wine with just a touch of spice at the end. Very good stuff at $22.50. Then on to Lincourt on the Santa Rita Hills. And this is their Pinot Noir, their entry-level wine, which for under $20, one of the best Pinot Noirs I have had this year. A nice amount of brown spice on the nose, complementing the raspberry, strawberry fruits, some pretty floral notes, along with a hint of earth here, but the focus really on the ripe, delicious fruit. Really soft and silky wine on the tongue with a good amount of that ripe berry fruit and a nice zesty finish, some brown spice in there, and a hint of smoke. Really good at $18. Wow. The Roth Pinot Noir up next from Sonoma Coast. They're building a winery for Roth. It's right next to, right across the street from Chalk Hill. I guess they've been making the wines there. And, you know, it's going to be ready for this harvest. We had Jesse Katz in here who's making these wines. And, man, what a talented young guy he is. This wine's got a really pretty bouquet of fresh flowers, black raspberry, cranberry fruit, exotic spice, a little mint rounding out the nose. A little bit more serious here, some bright and fresh fruit on the tongue, echoing that nuance and spice from the nose through the finish. Very good stuff. Just a little heavier than the Lincourt maybe. And then the Chalk Hill Pinot. Wow, this is the first release of Estate Pinot from Chalk Hill. And this is made by Lisa Bishop Forbes. Really darkly colored Pinot, man. If I didn't know any better, I would say there was Syrah or even Cab in this. And it has a roasted quality to the black raspberry, dark cherry, liqueur-like fruits, and dried floral notes, a little smoky bacon fat, nice complexity on the nose. Man, a big style of Pinot on the palate, thick and juicy, black raspberry, black cherry fruit, some of that bacon fat showing through on the finish. Really big, lots of color, but lots of length. You know, maybe a little bit over the top for Pinot Noir, but those of you that like Cabernet are going to like this Pinot. It is excellent juice. It's $60. All right, the Roth Cabernet from Alexander Valley, one of the best values we have on the shelf, man. You can still find some really good values in Alexander Valley for just over $20. This is made mostly for purchased fruit, but there is some of the Lancaster Estate fruit that goes into the blend here. Dark currant, cassis berry fruit shown with some dark peppery spice, dark mocha, some fresh plowed black earth, tobacco spice, fine herbs. Nice complexity on the nose, a big and spiced wine on the tongue, but smooth and round tannins, and has a good hand of that pepper, spice, and black earth on the finish. A very good little wine, $22.50, drinking really nicely right now. The 2010 Foley Estate. This is the old Sawyer property. These are the first vintages of these wines. Foley Johnston, rather, Estate. That's Bill Foley's wife's last name. So I guess they're partners and everything. And this is a Rutherford Napa wine, Estate Meritage blend. And this is right next to Sequoia Grove and St. Superi, like I said, right on the famous Highway 29. It's a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, 62%, 33% Merlot, and a touch of Petit Verdot and Cabernet Franc, aged for 23 months in new and used French oak. The winemaker is Bradley Warner here, formerly at Sawyer, and before that he worked at Mondavi. This is classic Rutherford wine here. It has a bit of that earthy Rutherford dust, some red currant and dark plum fruit, toasty oak spice, fairly complex bouquet of aromas, even right after opening. This wine had some lovely dark cocoa spice and mocha, and that lovely currant and cherry fruit showing through on the tongue. Some good amount of tannins in these wines. This 2010 is a classic vintage. It's going to need some time. This wine even better on the second day. All three of these, I think, I bumped up a little bit on the second day because they really showed nicely after they had been opened. All right, and then the Foley Johsnon Cabernet Sauvignon. And a lot of the fruit for this wine comes from the Kuleto property. They make 1,800 cases of this, the Meritage, and 3,600 cases of this 92% Cabernet, 3% Syrah. A little Merlot and Petit Verdot making up the remainder of the blend. This wine's got a good amount of dark currant and cassis-berry fruit, hints of fine herbs, cigar box spice, graphite, and some fresh earth showing up here also. Nice complexity on the nose. A good amount of that dark cherry and cassis-berry fruit on the tongue with nice structure. Again, this wine's a bit dry, but still has nice balance, nice freshness, showing really nicely on the second day, coming together nicely. This wine just needs a little time in the bottle. Excellent juice as well. $37.50. I didn't see a huge difference in quality in these two wines. Just a little different blend. And then the Foley Cabernet Sauvignon Rutherford, which is all estate bottle juice, dark currant berry fruits, really rich, nice intensity on the bouquet there, with good hand of fresh plowed earth, some fine herbs, dark chocolate, cigar box spice. Really nice bouquet in this wine. Like I said, evolving even more flavor on the second day here. This wine's really big, but still has elegance to it. Fresh earth, tobacco spice showing through on the finish, some dry tannins, but still lots of everything. This wine just needs a little bit of time. A firm hand of acidity holding everything together here, and that's what I had to drink with our friends from the Foley Wine Group. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.